Constantinople, the crown jewel of the Eastern Roman Empire and the greatest city of its time, is engulfed in chaos and fire. But this isn't the work of foreign invaders or barbarian forces. The citizens themselves, the very backbone of the empire, have risen in rebellion. Riots have broken out across the city, claiming the lives of state officials and reducing buildings to ashes. Emperor Justinian, besieged within the confines of his own palace, fears that the end of his reign, and perhaps his life, is near. Desperate to appease the mob, he has dismissed and exiled his most despised officials, hoping to quell the unrest. Yet the riots rage on. Worse, the crowds have proclaimed a new emperor, Anastasius. Justinian is on the brink of despair, ready to abandon the throne and flee for his life. It is his wife, the formidable Empress Theodora, who restores his resolve. Unwavering in her courage, she declares that death in royal purple is far preferable to life in exile. Her determination stiffens Justinian's spine. The emperor turns to his most trusted military leader, General Belisarius. Together, they will face the gravest challenge of Justinian's rule. The city must be reclaimed, the rioters crushed, and his authority restored. This moment will be the prelude to a grand vision, one that few dared to dream. Despite the empire's long decline and the collapse of its western half, Justinian's reign will mark a stunning reversal of fortune. Under his leadership, the Roman Empire will mount an extraordinary comeback, regaining territories long lost to barbarian kingdoms. At the forefront of this effort will be Belisarius, a man destined to be remembered as Rome's last great general. 5 years earlier, in 527 AD, the empire stood at a different kind of crossroads. The Western Roman Empire had fallen over half a century earlier, leaving Rome itself under the control of the Ostrogothic kingdom. Yet the Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine, remained a formidable power, its influence extending from the Balkans to the deserts of Armenia. Constantinople, its capital, was a beacon of Christian faith, administrative sophistication, and military might, home to some 30 million subjects. Justinian, a man of humble origins from Thrace, modern-day Serbia, ascended to the throne as the adopted son of Emperor Justin. With a peasant's work ethic and a scholar's education, he was a ruler of restless ambition. Justinian set two bold goals for himself: to heal the rift within the Christian Church, which was divided over the nature of Christ, and to reform Roman law, creating a unified legal code that would endure for centuries. But above all, Justinian understood that an emperor's legacy was measured by victories on the battlefield. The empire's enemies were many. To the west, relations with the barbarian kingdoms, the Vandals in North Africa, and the Ostrogoths in Italy were tenuously peaceful. In the Balkans, the successors of Attila's Huns posed a constant threat. But it was in the east, along the border with the Sassanid Persian Empire, that the gravest danger loomed. For centuries, Rome and Persia had been locked in a struggle for dominance. By 525, tensions boiled over when the Christian king of Iberia, modern-day Georgia, sought Roman aid against Persian attempts to impose Zoroastrianism on his people. Cross-border raids escalated into outright war. Among the Roman generals tasked with defending the empire was a young officer named Flavius Belisarius. Though barely 30 years old, he had already earned Justinian's trust and been appointed commander of Roman forces in the east. A native of Thrace, like the emperor himself, Belisarius was known for his loyalty, discipline, and tactical brilliance. His wife, Antonina, was a close friend of Theodora, further cementing the ties between the two couples. By the time Belisarius took command, the Roman army had evolved dramatically. Gone were the legions of old. Centuries of warfare against the Huns and Persians had reshaped the military. Cavalry, once a secondary force, now dominated. Heavy armored cavalry, known as clibanarii and cataphracts, served as the elite shock troops, while light cavalry acted as nimble horse archers, a tactic borrowed from the empire's enemies. Infantry, though still vital, played a more defensive role, forming shield walls to anchor the battlefield, while cavalry struck decisive blows. Among the most prestigious units were the Bucellari, personal troops loyal to their general rather than the state. These highly skilled and well-equipped soldiers were the backbone of Belisarius's forces, bound to him by oaths of loyalty. In 530 AD, the Persian king Kavash launched an offensive to capture the Roman fortress of Dera, located near today's Turkish-Assyrian border. Belisarius, commanding a force of 2,500 against a Persian army of 400,000, chose to meet the enemy in open battle, rather than cower behind the city walls. His men dug defensive ditches, anchoring their position. The stage was set for a climactic showdown. For 2 days, the armies clashed. On the second day, the Persians, reinforced to 500 men, launched a massive assault. Belisarius's troops, outnumbered and outflanked, used their superior tactics to turn the tide. Hidden units ambushed the Persian cavalry, while disciplined formations held firm under pressure. By the end of the battle, 8,000 Persian soldiers lay dead, and Belisarius emerged victorious, his reputation as a master tactician cemented. Despite his triumphs, Belisarius would soon face setbacks. At the Battle of Callinicum in 531, Pressure from his subordinates led him into a disastrous engagement with the Persians. Routed and humiliated, Belisarius was recalled to Constantinople. Yet his loyalty to Justinian remained unwavering, and his role in crushing the Nika riots of 532 would prove pivotal. When riots erupted in Constantinople, the factions of the Hippodrome, the Blues and Greens, joined forces against the emperor. What began as protests over imprisoned members soon escalated into a full-blown revolt. The rioters declared Hypatius as their new emperor, and Justinian, fearing for his life, considered fleeing. But Theodora's stirring words inspired him to stand his ground. Belisarius and General Mundus led the counterattack. Their seasoned troops swept through the city, slaughtering rioters without mercy. By the end, an estimated 300 citizens lay dead. The revolt was crushed. Hypatius was executed, and Justinian's reign was secure. With the eastern frontier stabilized and his authority restored, Justinian turned his gaze westward. His goal was nothing less than the restoration of Roman glory. To lead this ambitious campaign, there could be no other choice but Belisarius.